I would like to bring up our first presenter, Chris Ballester, with All Things Done.
All right, no, this is really cool and exciting, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Absolutely a great pleasure to be here. Devin, thank you for the invite and opportunity, and it's already been a wealth of value in conversations and just being in this room and space. So we'll be brief, keep it brief, and look forward to really genuine, authentic, and poke holes in it feedback. So with that, again, my name is Chris Ballester, and a little short story, hopefully 10 seconds, All Things Done, and I didn't just get this shirt as I'm launching the company today. This actually goes back about 10 years. So I started this company when I first graduated now It actually started as a small project or in my entrepreneur course, and it was, hey, if you were going to make a company, what would it be? In short, now fast forward 10 years, I'm building the thing I wish I had 10 years ago. So with that, All Things Done is really meant to be and become the operating system for the modern home. And the problem that I'm solving and the problem that I've felt, and I would love the feedback as well, is the service provider and small business owner and homeowner, that relationship, it just feels like there's not enough value being injected into that relationship. It seems just truly transactional, and there's value, don't get me wrong, in a service being provided and you getting, providing the funding to that individual and back and forth, phenomenal. But I think there's just so much untapped value, similar to the taxi service when I reference, the Uber of home services. The taxi industry, transportation, it wasn't broken, but there was a better way to do it. Additionally, Airbnb, it's not broken to stay at a hotel or stay in your own personal home or whatever, however you structure it, but there was more value and a better way to do it. So with that, I feel like I'm one of those crazy ones that can and does see this absolutely changing the world, revolutionizing the way that we engage and have done business with the entrepreneurs, local small business owners, but doing it in a better way. So won't belabor the point, but in short, what I'm wanting to do is maximize the return on relationship and investment between the small business owner, home service provider, and myself. The problem came about when I was, interacting with, call it your landscaper, your pool technician, if you're, a house cleaner, all of these different services, and I'm very passionate about small business owners and home service providers. So being able to interact with them was always great. However, I kind of got frustrated in the fact that it felt very decentralized. There was no consistency. You might be talking to 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and whatever and however many, but there was still no consistency in any of the way that I interacted. When it comes to payments, when it came to communication, when it came to scheduling, and there's a lot of great and in quick or in short to highlight some of the competitors out there. Angie's List, Thumbtack, Facebook Marketplace, however you find your service provider, they've done a great job of presenting and curating those individuals, but then what, right? And who are they really servicing the homeowner, right? They're usually really focused on, hey, we're going to present these individuals to you, but then after that initial conversation, transaction takes place, it feels like it just drops off. So for me, I found myself just being kind of frustrated. Like, I wish there was something to structure, systems, flow, that made this ongoing relationship really seamless. So my goal is not solely to solve for, or become another CRM, right? Another client relation management system for a home service provider, because there's a dime a dozen. To mention some of the competitors, HubSpot, spreadsheets, Copilot with Microsoft. There's a lot of different things out there that anybody, and as small business owners, we've all used them, right? As we scale, as we try to find the right platform, the right thing to help us manage our business. So I'm not competing with that, but in the same breath, as it relates to the homeowner, myself, or anyone that might use one or two, or also just storing sensitive information as it relates to the home, but it's your phone, your text messages, your email account, right? All of that information, again, becomes very disorganized and decentralized. So wanting to bring both of these pieces together in a beautiful way. I think whenever technology deserves to be seamless. I think we are inundated and bombarded with noise constantly. I think whatever is built is meant and should serve us as individuals in quieting the noise, making it easy to interact and serve and support and ultimately allow us to just do what we want to do, which is live life, right? If you have a lot of different products going on, you don't want to have to coordinate payment, when are they going to be here? Am I up to date on this? Reviews, all of that. I think it should just be so simple. So I digress, but in short, it's also a modular app that brings simplicity, transparency, accountability to these industries, and as well as the homeowner, right? I'll liken it to Uber. I think service providers deserve to know if there's a bad client potentially that they should, maybe avoid. Just like an Uber driver, as you get your ratings for, if you're a little bit too rowdy in a car, an Uber driver deserves to know who they might have getting in their vehicle. For me, as it relates to a small business owner, I think they deserve the same respect to know, hey, is this client going to pay on time like we agreed upon? So truly adding value to both sides of the equation, and not just serving the homeowner by only giving them a way to house all their virtual Rolodex of service providers, but also servicing the service provider to ensure that they equally receive the same level of value, and building it intentionally for both sides of that equation. Because honestly, without one, they neither exist, right? Without a good service provider, the homeowner doesn't have access to these resources, and without great homeowners or users, service providers don't have anyone to support. So it's really about servicing both sides in a powerful way, and with that transparency, efficiency, and something that truly lives in an individual's device, phone, desktop, or whatever the case may be, to simplify their lives and allow them to really get back to living and focusing on what they want to do most, which is family, travel, friends, whatever the case may be. And I have a lot more details on all of this. Again, it's 10 years in the making, but in short, basically what I just kind of iterated on. Providers, there's incredible platforms that support them. On the user side or homeowner side, incredible platforms. But what is the thing that brings both of those together? What is the system, the flow, the logic that really brings both of those things together in a beautiful way to really make for a powerful experience on both sides of the equation? And why me? I say why me, but in the same breath, I think I can probably say why anybody in this room, right? If you've ever interacted with anybody that added value in your home, your community, your yard, whatever the case, I would be really curious to know. I'm sure it went well, but could it have gone better? And do you think that you got the maximum amount of value out of that transaction and relationship ongoing? And therefore, and speaking from the service provider, and all things done, again, in short, I basically put all of my part-time jobs together: landscaping, mobile detailing, car washing, pressure washing. I was like, well, all things, I'll do it all. So that was the birth of All Things Done. And so therefore, I'm also speaking from having done that, right? And I was like, okay, I enjoy pressure washing personally. I enjoy cutting the lawn and that smelling the grass right after a rainy day, and it's a little like that, dude. I love that smell. So I enjoy providing service. I enjoy serving people. But I really was annoyed of all the headache that I had to endure to get to that next client, and then also to keep that next client. And then when you get to client 100, you probably forgot about client 1. So how do we solve for those types of things to really enable and allow a service provider to do what they love and support them in a really major way? Because at the end of the day, they are our community. They are our family. They are our friends, and so forth. So I say why me, but I can also say, I think everybody in this room, if they've ever interacted on either side of that equation, could find themselves asking to say, hey, I've been there, and I think it could also be done better. So I think I have one more slide, or no, I don't. But currently, I'm a co-founder. So although this has been my baby for the last 10 years, I am recently partnered with or in the process of finalizing a partnership with a technical co-founder to really bring this to market, to scale it, to deploy it, to make it a reality. So his name is James. He's not here today. He should be watching live if he's able to. And again, with for a longer conversation, I have a demo. We have MVPs in place. We have the monetization plan. One, it's going to be free for homeowners. At the end of the day, I want this to live in everybody's pocket, and I want to get broader than a homeowner, but anyone that uses a service at any capacity, call it once a year, 5 times a month, whatever the scale, whatever the frequency, but something that truly will become the communication platform between a home service provider and a homeowner. So I'm not sure how I'm on time, but hopefully that paints a high-level picture of what we're, the problem, how we're solving it, and really ultimately, where this will go. And
All right. So, questions from the audience?
A little constructive feedback. You have a lot of text on your slides.
okay.
It would be better to see images with little text, because what happens is we will read the slide and not pay attention to you.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you.
That's great.
So let me take these out. So I'm still a little bit unsure exactly what the platform is, even after listening to the presentation. You're saying you're the Uber of home services. So are you guys going to be like a marketplace where people can find each other, or are you like, because you also said you have a communication part of this, so can you kind of explain that to have a better, I think in your presentation you're probably, you have demo up there, right, on this last slide. You can probably maybe give an example of what you're talking about, which would probably help. But if you could clarify kind of what the app or this business is going to do.
Absolutely, and really thank you for that question. That'll allow me to unpack it further. It is a double-sided marketplace. Therefore, we have a marketplace of homeowners, and we have a marketplace of service providers. So the flow is, let's say you have your, we'll start with landscaper. You have a landscaper already. However you came across that individual, you will be able to upload them into your home team, which is kind of your virtual Rolodex for your home service providers.
Okay.
And then while they're on the platform, and this will be your communication for everything. So they will see the exact mirror of what you have. So it's a double-sided platform for it's Pocket Office and All Things Done, but it is all your communication, schedule job, payment, all of it, as well as they have that same visibility on their side. So even if they have a massive CRM that they use, that might be beautiful, but again, that's still siloed in one vertical, right? You might have 4 or 5 people servicing your home throughout the year, right? So you would still need multiple apps to support them all. So this is really meant to be that operating level between and in support of everything, if that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. So, but thank you for that question.
So how do you monetize that?
So
If that's truly the platform and the intention, how do you monetize it?
Great question. Thank you. So right now, the monetization structure is it is free forever for homeowners up until 3 properties. So if you have 1 or 2 properties, that's free. You can manage all of your service providers for each of those properties individually, right? And then the payment side, there's going to, because it will act as a lightweight CRM, that is going to be on the service providers. So there's different payment tiers that we have already broken out from a structure perspective, but that's where some of the revenue is going to come from. And then there's also other components of rewards points. So there's going to be opportunity because, again, from a value, I think we're really trained to expect rewards points in anything that we do, right? Your Starbucks, your Target, you name it. But these providers don't have the cycles, the bandwidth, the capacity to go implement that. So I am injecting a built-in algorithm to enable every time you get your landscaping done, you're generating points. So whether that nets you a free cut, or maybe you want to use those points to do a house cleaning that you've never done before. So it's also going to open up the home to allow other service providers to come in, so to expand some of the things that that you potentially wouldn't use. But hey, you have points, it's your birthday, you've been on the platform for so long, that's going to really also allow us to become more sticky. But
Thank you. This is fantastic concept. Congratulations, I love it.
thank you.
I think I already spoke with you. I want to help you out on this. You should be able to tell the whole world in one slide and 1 minute elevator pitch.
Okay.
You should be able to tell. That's where it starts.
Okay.
Okay? It's simpler than you think. You already used about more than 20 times. Simple, simple, simple. That's what you have to deliver. Complex problem, the simplest way, bar none.
Okay.
Otherwise, you don't have a business. Okay? You have to hook people. That's the first thing, hook. That's all you have to do. There are 8.4 billion people. They listen to one radio station, everybody. WIIFM. What is in it for me? That's all you talk. Absolutely. Everybody listens to that. Even the dog listens to that. Okay? If you want to sell dog food.
Right.
Okay. So that's what you have to do, the principle. I want to help you out. I don't want to take too much time. I already spoke with you. This is amazing. At your age,
Thank you.
you are really something. You don't have to tell. You are disrupting. Everybody will know. Okay? I will help you out. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, congratulations with you deployed the platform, right? Or you did not?
Our MVP is going to go live November 9th, and we're currently curating a list of users, and then they'll be onboarded as soon as it goes live.
Oh, okay. My question is, my understanding, I'm trying to understand what's the business model of this. It's kind of B2B, B2C, because you're also including the homeowners as well. So what is your go-to-market strategy? How are you coming with the cost structure? Two questions, actually. Cost structure, monetization model, and your go-to-market strategy.
So the go-to-market strategy, in short, we're focusing hyperlocal. So we are doing hyperlocal launches with our first event scheduled for November 9th, or November 2nd in Winter Springs. So we are targeting the entirety of the Tuscaloosa HOA community to be an early adopter. And then with that, the way that we are bringing service providers, so it's multifaceted or dual-sided here, but you as a homeowner, hey, you have, call it 5 individuals or small businesses that you manage or you use to manage your home. Hey, Joe, I just got this platform. I really want to streamline how I communicate with all of my service providers. It's going to allow me to generate points and rewards, structure our payment together, and so on and so forth. Do you mind getting on the platform so we can really streamline it? So therefore, it's a one-to-many on both sides. And then as we reach out to service providers, again, we're targeting from launch, and again, I can go longer into this, but from launch to their first 100,000 in revenue. But hey, how are you currently engaging with your clients? Is it still just texting, calling, email, so forth? Well, hey, let's upload your client book. We're going to streamline your communications for now. So now all of these individuals now also have the platform, and then after that, we are going to enable them and show them how they can expand to other services that they might not be using. And then from how we're structuring the cost of it, we're kind of looking at other platforms from month-to-month subscriptions, what that looks like. Maybe it's a $29.99 a month to just launch your business. Structure your users.
Okay.
Manage your clients, communications, all of that. So is that kind of what you're asking for, or am I hitting the cost structure?
How did you come up with those numbers? I'm trying to understand how.
Like specific. So I guess due diligence research, looking at other platforms, what they're charging, and then also honestly, we still have to test it. We have to test it and get some feedback to see really where our target audience, what they're comfortable with, what numbers are sticky, and really what's going to work. So that is still to be determined, but we do have some tentative numbers based on the research we've done thus far. So.
Are you going after homeowners one at a time? Are you going after HOAs, or how are you approaching that?
So, I mean, bootstrapping it. So I am personally, physically knocking on a door saying, hey, my name is Chris. Obviously, that's not efficient, but I want to really understand what problem that a homeowner might be experiencing so that I can solve for it directly.
So I would encourage you to work with CAMs instead of homeowners, because many of the communities, at least where I live, it's a no trespassing. You knock on the door, you're probably going to have a problem.
Fair. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
work with CAMs, and maybe then they can set you up to present at a meeting of the homeowners.
Right.
You know, rather than going after one fish at a time, go after the whole barrel.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's a great idea.
I'm sorry.
This is great. Thank you for sharing. It kind of got covered. Part of my question got covered 2 questions ago, but I'm seeing with the double-sided marketplace concept that you have two. Not all businesses have 2 distinct customer personas or actual customer bases, but with the with how broad and how much potential this has for like connecting homeowners and service providers. One thing I'd like to just suggest as far as like getting it down to the tangible is what a success story, what a testimonial or what a case study would look like from each side, so that as say if I was a service provider listening to your pitch, I would want my focal point for, okay, I can see myself in that success story.
Right.
Is going to be a different story and a different presentation than if I'm the customer looking for myself in that case study or that success story. So I think it's a great concept and it's unique, but just that uniqueness that you have 2 target markets that you're aiming for on both sides of the transaction.
Right. No, thank you. That's great feedback.
Okay.
Are you patterning this something like Angie's List?
Am I, sorry.
Patterning the
Pattern. So Angie's List, based on my personal experience, I want to be a gap that I feel they missed. Angie's List is bringing the service providers to you, and they're curating that initial touch, but then they're not continuing to serve the relationship. I want to service the relationship long term for the life of that service provider. And in short, I had an individual do some work on a dryer for me, right? Great guy, great transaction, never heard from him again. I would have loved for there to be an ongoing relationship, because now I'm starting back at 0. So to the value, imagine being in my virtual Rolodex, AI and all that, right? Hey, I was at your house this many months ago, I'm running this special. So if you're in my home team as a service provider that we agree that you're in my home team, I don't have to go look for that provider again, right? They're there. Unless, we agree to disagree, fine. But until then, they are locked in, and it's both sides. So a service provider, the value, they will know their exact, business value. How many active clients do I actually have? How many people are on the platform? And also, the users are going to update their own information, right? So you're not having to chase them down to get new details or anything like that, because it's on them and in their best interest to keep their data relevant and protected. So I want to fill the gaps that Angie, Thumbtack, CRMs, all of those miss, and I want to really be something that everyone can value from, and not exclusively any specific vertical.
So thank you for doing this, and I appreciate where you're coming from. I see proprietary and confidential. This isn't a proprietary confidential environment. Not only that, but I actually have a client that's actually doing this. But they're doing it for, they're specializing in the ESL market. So they're going after people who speak Portuguese and who speak Spanish, because they have a lot of problems with contractors and service providers in their homes and things like, right, get taken advantage of, and communications problem and all that. And I've been working with them for about 6 years, and they've got about 20,000 clients right now and so forth. But in any case, so this isn't that new of an idea, and plus that's just Orlando. Who knows what's going on elsewhere?
Right.
I do like what you're trying to do, and I like that you started with kind of like a story, but I would have started with the story about doing the the landscaping and loving the smell of the grass and everything else like
Okay.
that. And then going in from there and explaining the problems that your customers and you had working together. The other thing was, well, Eric, he said the same thing, just too much, and you were too long.
Okay.
Supposed to say 6 minutes.
Apologize.
But the primary thing is competition.
Right.
Okay. So your biggest competition isn't somebody else. Your biggest competition is what your customers, your B2C customers, and your B2B customers are already doing.
Right.
Because you're asking them to make a change. And I haven't heard a compelling enough reason for either of them to make that change yet.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to frame that into a value proposition that you talked about,
Right.
right, that resonates with them, okay? And then lastly, your best bets are what you're doing now, which is just go to an HOA,
Yeah.
right? That way you can get hundreds of homes to adopt your app, which will force everybody who's doing business in that neighborhood to adopt that app,
Right.
right? And then once they see the benefits of it, that's going to help you get into other HOAs.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you for that.
All right, so last question, what can we, as the 1 Million Cups Orlando chapter, do to help you?
That's the question. That's the question. So at this time, and please keep me honest here, we are looking for funding, but that's not the question for today, right?
No?
No, right. So in regards, it's really about continuing to validate this idea and poke holes in it. I want to bulletproof it to ensure that it is solving a real problem. I want to make sure that it's really solving something of a pain as a homeowner and from a service provider. So I don't know if that's an ongoing ask, but if this feels like something that is solving something, or maybe things that you feel like are missing from some of the features or concepts, that would be my biggest ask from the community, is to validate and scrutinize.
Okay, perfect, thank you. This to Wendy.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so, and I've got a couple things after, but for time. So I want to welcome Wendy Sloan. She's going to share with us some stuff that she is working on. And I think this is kind of unique. This is what, in my opinion, 1 Million Cups is really all about.
I just got my letters of incorporation yesterday, and it's Coffee and Conversation Collective, Inc. And I'm here as a startup. I'm here to ask you to help me decide on some things as I'm starting up this business, because I've been a serial entrepreneur. So the way that I'm going to structure this presentation is I'm going to first talk about the past, what my current interests are, and how I'm going to combine everything in a concept going forward. Because I am too young to retire. I did move from Fort Lauderdale to Lake County, Leesburg in 2022, and I spent like 2 years gardening around the house, but it's time to move on and engage with the community. So my past, I've been, as I said, a serial entrepreneur. I had my first brick and mortar business when I was 22 years old. It was called the Calico Kettle. It was an arts and crafts store, and I taught kids and adults how to paint with acrylics. I ended up selling that business to somebody that was my oil painting teacher. Then I worked for Publix, and I worked my way up. I was a customer service manager. We were called common area managers at the time. Second assistants kind of merged. They kind of divided the two different departments, the front of the house and the stock department. So now there's a grocery manager and there's a customer service manager. And I still keep my real estate broker's license. I work by referral, friends and family, but it's kind of on the background because the past 20 years I've been in the healing field. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I just completed my CEUs again, so I'm good for another 2 years. And also I'm a certified hypnotist. I teach for the National Guild of Hypnotism at their yearly convention when I submit a proposal. And I'm also a writer. I wrote the book, The Love Energy Thread, Connecting Self, Community, and Dimensions, which is about how to help and heal yourself. Then in 2019, and it really started 2016 when I saw the political turmoil and I started doing a lot of research, I started going down that rabbit hole. I was still working, massaging clients, doing a little bit of real estate, but I took some trips that kind of formatted how I'm thinking today about the world and about business. One of the places I went to in Georgia, where they created the Federal Reserve, there's a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I actually met the author of that at a Red Pill event later on. And of course, then COVID happened, where everybody was looking for toilet paper and wearing diapers on their face. And that changed everything business-wise. And I don't know exactly what happened here in this community in Orlando or Lake County, but I know how it affected the small businesses in Fort Lauderdale. Just a block away, a restaurant that was in business for 25 years, a family-owned business, went out of business. I started, because I made some extra money. People at my massage place, somebody had COVID. I worked a lot of hours. I had extra funding, paid off my credit cards, and I planned a trip. When you're a massage therapist, when you decide to have a goal, you think of how many services, how many clients do I need to see to afford what I want to do. So I took off for 8 weeks and I went throughout the United States, all the way to California. And in that, when I was in Michigan, I met up with citizen journalists with Neighborhood News Studio. And long story short, I got interviewed by Addy Ads, and that was a live stream because I had a list of books in front of me of all the research that I have done. And somebody by the name of Norman Lee Smith from North Carolina saw it. And later on, he contacted me, bought my book, we became friends, and now he's my sweetheart. And that's one of the reasons that I moved from Fort Lauderdale to Lake County, because of him. Going forward from that, so in 2022, moving from Fort Lauderdale to Leesburg, I did spend, like I said, a lot of time gardening, but this was a very bad year, too hot to really grow things. I have been helping Norman with his music. We've been doing a lot of open mic nights, and he has now 50 songs on Spotify and Apple Music. So currently, I'm very involved with Toastmasters. I'm a president of one club, a VP of education of another, and I'm the district club extension chair, which means it's a fancy word for handling the paperwork for new clubs that are starting. So my goal in my head in Lake County is that I wanted to open 5 clubs in that area, plus maybe one in the villages, because when I moved there, my nearest Toastmasters clubs was 45 minutes away, driving one way, Ocala or down to Apopka. And I get a little bit of money. I know I don't look 64, but I do get a little bit of money from the government, Social Security, and I still get some real estate referrals. So I'm looking for ideas to combine my interests and skills. And I did present at the 1 Million Cups in Eustis. That's where I've been going to since April of this year. So I'm thinking of opening a citizen journalist coffee house, but I would say that really my market is entrepreneurs, artists, and healers. Those are the 3 market. Now, I don't know for sure whether these market people, whether they will blend well or not together, but these are what my interests, and there's a lot of people that do have similar. They're business owners, but yet they're maybe a little bit woo. So you could say that I'm a hypnotist with an MBA. So I do have that behind me, plus the entrepreneurial spirit and experience behind me. So citizen journalist, coffee house, and healing center, with also then a stage for events at night, open mic nights, open conversation nights. And then since I'm getting older and I want to leave a legacy, I'm really thinking about that book, The E-Myth Revisited. How many of you know of that book? So then you know that the E-Myth is entrepreneurs. It's not just being, a lot of technicians, let's say a massage therapist thinks, all right, why am I giving the owner half of what I'm making here? Let me open up my own place. And people don't realize that there's a lot of more work that needs to be done, because you have to wear the hat as the entrepreneur. You have to be the visionary. You need to be the manager, pay the light bill, pay the rent, order the oils. And then you have to then be also the technician. So I'm really looking to create a business that can be franchisable. And so after the Million Cups presentation in last month, just a little over a month ago, I did meet with a podcaster that's local. He has a podcast that's called No Brainer Political No Brainer. And I did look at a location, and I did hook up with someone who creates food and is willing to bring meals into a location. And also a photographer said, hey, if you want to use my space, you can use my space for podcasts. So that's kind of what's been going on this past month. And I did just get my letters of incorporation. And I do have somebody working on a logo. So now what I'm asking from you, what does Central Florida need? What can be franchised nationally and internationally? And if you have any comment, what you think would work. Like as you as an entrepreneur, what would you want in a place to bring clients? So many times we say, you want to meet for coffee. Well, where's a good place to meet for coffee? Locally in Lake County, there's a place called Firefox Coffee, or people just meet at a Denny's, or Cracker Barrel, or a local mom and pop. But if there was a coffee place that was designed for you and for you to meet clients at, what would that look like? Would you want it like a gym membership where you can have access anytime, just slide your card in and go in? You know, maybe there's even just a Mr. Coffee, make your own coffee. Maybe you have a particular brand of coffee that you like. Maybe you would like a locker that where you can, hey, you know, tell your guests, your other people that you're meeting, you know, sit down here, I'll just make us a fresh pot of coffee. Or would you rather have a barista serve you? Or would you just like if you go into a gas station, you know, the coffee's lined up, you just fix it and then you sit, you know, you have a table to sit down at. So those are my asks. So that completes what I wanted to tell you, and I would love your feedback.
Okay. Perfect. Questions? Sean? Yes.
This is a lot.
I know.
My God. You are an idea machine. You have to stop it. You have to focus, one word. Focus, F-O-C-U-S.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I can talk about that separate, okay? That's where it starts. Period. You pick one thing that you love, and then you make a business out of it. It's easy.
I like sitting down and just working on puzzles, watching YouTube.
You
but
can.
that doesn't pay anything.
No. You can do anything you want to.
Yeah, have you seen my life?
You're not going to get the results you're looking for.
Right.
Okay, you said franchise. Oh, I love that. But what it takes to be a franchise, how to create a franchise. You have to have a damn business first, then you have to have everything in place so that somebody will buy that franchise. There are certain things happen in the business.
So I've observed that phenomenon. My brother was a franchisee owner with Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And so he actually got hired. He worked his way up. He went to Arby's. Well, I'm just saying I have a little bit of, in my advisory team of people, I do have somebody that is...
That's the problem. They should be telling you, focus. One word, I'm not kidding. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're going to get lost. You're not going to get younger. That's what the problem is right now, all over the world.
So what I said, what would you suggest that I focus on?
I don't know you that much. You have to know, you know inside out. I wish I could be like this. This is it. And go and you can easily make it happen. Easily, I'm not kidding. Because you know a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay? And you have to focus, learn to focus. You have to beat yourself up on that. You can't. Listen to Tony Robbins. He has 20 minutes video.
I walked on the hot coals
Just
one time.
Listen to him.
The hypnosis worked for that.
He has it. He has the answer for you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I love your ideas and the way you've brought them together. And I especially I think there's a couple of places in Central Florida that are a little bit similar. One is, for those of you, maybe Infusion Tea, and when Infusion Tea is in College Park. But it's a relaxing place. You know, there's sofas, there's tables, they sell gifts, they sell local art. Mm-hmm. It started very small, but they were very connected to the community. They did very cool things during the pandemic where they delivered toilet paper to people's houses and put them in the front yard. So it's that kind of spirit and idea. The other one at a higher level is if you go to the Alphon Inn, there's places where there's art, but then you can also sit there and get really great coffee, and it's a good place to meet. It's a good place to converse. They also now have a high-end spa, but it brings to both of those places at different levels bring together the kind of ideas that you're describing: a place to eat, a place to create, a place to converse, a place to buy a gift, a place to think, and a cool place for people to this is a comfortable place where it's not quite where I have to sit at a table and leave within 15 minutes. It's more I can relax and meet with people. So if you haven't visited those places, you might
I will.
check them out because they kind of bring together what.
You want to write that down for me, or I will listen to the replay, when it comes available. Okay. Thank you.
So good morning. Shout out to Eric Dechters, who has done an exhaustive study on coffee houses in Central Florida.
Okay.
He's mapped out 160 of them or 187 of them. Okay. There is a place that I've gone to for many years called Austin's Coffee, which is in Fairbanks, but in Winter Park. Now, I agree with what Shan was talking about. You really need to focus on something, and you touched on it briefly, what I thought would be a bullseye, and that is an upper scale coffee house, right? So I'm a cigar smoker, and so I go to all my cigar bars, they have lockers, right? You can keep your booze and you can keep your cigars in there. I've got several. And if there was a coffee shop where I could go to and I could put my Lavazza and my Salai coffee in there, right? And
Probably your
and
booze.
and whatever. But, and people come and then I can entertain them and go to the bar and make my own coffee or give it to somebody and they can make coffee for us from that, right? And then have your chairs and your sofas and things. Have it as like an upscale type of thing. I think that would be franchisable. Okay. However, again, like you said, you have to focus on one thing and you have to validate it, right? Just coming up with an idea and trying to run with it isn't going to work. You have to validate your idea, and before it's investable, okay? And if you're asking for a franchise, it needs to be investable, okay?
Thank you. Just about the name, Citizen Entrepreneur Coffee. Me being not an American citizen, okay? When I read this, I say to myself, is it just for American entrepreneurs or is it for all of us? So you might think about this because with all this, what's going on in this country right now, I don't want to go into details because that's not what we're here for.
But it'd be good to have a place where you could talk about it, correct?
Yeah, but I don't think
Civil place.
the citizen is really the drawing point. It's international.
But that's not in my
entrepreneur
name. That's
coffee.
just giving you a little bit of background of where I came to where I'm at.
I just wanted to bring this up
okay.
because
So
some
coffee
people might
seems
see
generic.
this differently.
Let's meet for coffee. Okay.
You can say
But-
world citizen.
Thank you for sharing and being here. The one word that, to summarize what I'm about to share, is the word golden thread, or the term golden thread. In copywriting or storytelling, really, has to be a golden thread that unites all the, and you can take all kinds of twists and turns, but there has to be a golden thread that connects the ideas. And being a very passionate and eclectic person, it's even more so important to find that golden thread and communicating it, and then also to have that within your business. So I'm seeing this is a great idea, the upscale coffee shop. And in regards to being an incubator, is the common theme throughout your life that has allowed you to explore and discover these parts of yourself, these gifts and these passions? And then how can that golden thread connect to what you're holding a space for in the coffee shop to encourage other people to have this type of space or incubator or shared creative connection point? Obviously, pricing it and what services you'd provide is another layer, and obviously having profit margin within the upscale aspect really helps as far as getting it accessible. But like you said, with places like Austin's, they're very unique, and Austin's is unfortunately closing at the moment. So they're also very in demand and needed. But the key is that this is communicated in a way that shows their pain point and their needs, and how what you know as being valuable through your creative journey, that you can hold that and create that space for them to have that experience.
Fantastic. All right, last question.
Oh, and I want 5%.
Business validation.
If I used to be a massage therapist, and if I could see a common thread, I would see CEU provider.
Yeah, that's for classes.
Yeah, so this would give you a venue where you could potentially be a provider of CEUs for massage therapy or hypnotherapy, and that being the case, you can also invite, similar to this, where you invite business owners to come in collectively, discuss the day's needs, whatever that's a little bit less formal than the Rotary Club or any Chamber of Commerce would provide. And since massage therapists are business owners and hypnotherapists are business owners, that's your thread to tie all three together. That's kind of how I would tie everything together, if that's what you were looking for.
So let me just interject here about what I know about entrepreneurs and healers. Where do you get your thoughts? A lot of times people get their aha moment while they're sitting on the toilet, driving a car, or taking a shower. When the mind is relaxed, other influences, ideas can come to you. Then it's you to take those ideas, what's viable, what's not, what you have to discourage. So as a hypnotist, I've worked with entrepreneurs to help create new products, because in that zone. Matter of fact, that's how, if you go to the Edison Ford house, there's a cot in the workshop of Ford, or no, Edison. He would lay there holding a ball, get in a meditative state, and when it dropped, then he knew that he would come out of it. Because when you're just waking up and when you're just falling asleep, that hypnagogic, hypnopompic brainwave state of alpha will give you some good insight that you can make a profit from. He did it.
Why don't you work on just that for it?
Well, that's why you're right. Focusing on that, put that in a package of why.
That, don't talk anything else. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
That's the problem. You should be coachable, by the way. And I know that. Will run without me. That's what you want to do.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So what can we, as the Orlando chapter of 1 Million Cups, do to help you?
I would like your opinion. What's your favorite coffee brand? Do you have a coffee brand?
I think we have to use coffee.
What?
Good to the last drop.
Maxwell House? I mean, I like the Aldi brand myself. I like Dunkin' Donuts.
By the way, you have to know where the coffee is going in the future.
Yeah, I'm investigating that. I heard that there's a few main roasters here, and there's one that I will be meeting within the next week.
I need to talk with him.
What? Yeah.
Talk with him. Maxwell House?
Maxwell House? You have a
Don't get into coffee.
He created.
Don't go into the coffee business?
No, please, no. You have
Talk with him.
idea there. You have to stop running around too much. You have to hold on to your brain.
I have a meeting. Okay. Really good to the last drop.
Oh.
That's him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you good to the last drop?
Absolutely.
Okay, then we're going to make a meeting, if you like. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And hopefully I will be invited back in 6 months, and you'll see the progress and where I'm at and how I need your help then.
All right, fantastic. See, having that relaxed state, and we have that energy, now I know why that worked so well. Yeah, half a wave. So our sponsors are Tech Hub, the building we're in, OMG Labs, Donut Central, where we get our donuts every week, and thank you, Murray, for picking those up, and Solai Coffee with Peter. Also, our sponsors are Kirkendall Insurance, Orlandopreneur, Driven Digital, Stoic Dan, and John Swanson, and myself. Rupert, quick 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yep.
Who here is an entrepreneur? Who here is an Orlandopreneur? Okay, so again, for those of you who don't know, This is the place you need to go to once a month, all right? And this month, we're having it at the Aloft Hotel in Lake Nona. And the last time we were there, had an awesome event, 140 people. We're expecting at least 150 or more. That's our average. And you come there, you meet like-minded people, you share with them your problems, your issues, you get answers, you develop relationships, and we create impact. So be there or definitely be square.
And that was definitely a great event at Aloft last time. And there were people that came out there that don't normally go to Orlandopreneur from that Lake Nona market area, and got to meet some really good people, and really good event there. So it's well worth it. We meet here every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9, of course, is our getting to know ya, and then 9 o'clock on is the presentations. Make sure that you like and follow and share on social media. Take pictures, send them out, let people know that we're here, because the more people we can grow the community, the more input it brings for all of us. The organizing committee, if you're part of the committee, raise your hand. If you have questions about how do you get involved, how do I present, what do I need to do, come find one of us. We'll be happy to help you. This is part of Eric's map that he mentioned, where the coffee shop, so go have coffee with someone. And why do you come here? Well, it's great to attend, see how things work, apply to be a presenter, share your information, present after you've prepared. And why do you want to do that? Because of marketing and brand awareness. It can help people get to know you, especially if you're on the YouTube channel. You get practice and feedback so you can grow. Did you learn anything today, Wendy? Okay. Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So it works. Create strategic partnerships, which is a big thing most people don't think about. It's not about selling what you have. It's about who can I talk to? I told somebody this morning, Sean tells me we need to talk, and I'll go talk with him. I honestly do not leave that meeting without having 2 to 4 pages of notes every time that we sit down. He's so full of information and ideas. It's just amazing stuff. Hiring and retaining talent, and of course, networking experience, getting to know one another. How do you share what you do? We've been challenged in here before. You should be able to concisely share what you do in 6 words or less. So work on that. And if you want to present, go to the website here, the 1millioncups.com/Orlando. So thank you for coming. If you didn't get a chance to sign in, please make sure that you scan the code there. And our closing thought, you measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you had to overcome to reach your goals. Booker T. Washington. So thank you very much. Have a great week. Okay.